It's the Standard Pauper Show. It's a show about Standard Pauper. Hello, everybody. It's me, Brennon, your lovable host. Along with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Sam, the Vault Boy Hunter. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
And Dan, the fan of history.
Hello, guys.
Yay, we're all here to talk about the PDC and a little bit more Gauntlet. That's right. Spoiler alert, still going on.
You spoiled it.
Hey, they'll stick around. I guarantee it. They would need to know, how is it going on? Did Dan survive? Is it passed on to someone else? Who knows? What happened this week in Standard Pauper? Talking about the SPDC happened this past Sunday, January 25th. 14 players, 100% reported. Thank you. Hosted by our Remedio One, our good friend. First place, Mono Blue Deck by Trompinha.
Mono Blue?
Mono Blue. Straight up Mono Blue. We'll talk about that at some length in a moment. Coming in second was the Boros Aggro. Fourth was Adner playing White Weenie Tokens. And the tied for fourth was Boros Heroic by Jorge Jaco. Okay, I'll go with that. Let's take a look at Mono Blue. It is probably my most favorite Standard Pauper archetype. I love it. I try to force it whenever I can. This deck looks pretty good. Creatures, we got 4 Coral Barrier, 3 Vaporkin, 3 Welkin Turn, so you have your Air Force, 2 Benthic Giant for some beaters. Got lots of land, 25 lands, 17 Island, 4 Evolving Wilds, 4 Radiant Fountain. Got 4 Divination, 4 Griptide, 4 Nullify, 4 Rise of Eagles, 4... what do you want to call Rise of Eagles? Air Force 2? You get 2. Then you get the 4 Treasure Cruise, 3 Negate. Sideboard, 4 Voyages End, 4 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Weave Fate, 2 Cancel, 1 Negate, and another Benthic Giant. You're probably thinking, wait, is that 15 cards? No, it is not. That's okay. Let's talk about League Contender Overview. That is incorrect. It is not a League Contender Overview. This is the deck. Why do I have that in there? I don't know. Anyway, ignore that up there. I'll put a big old censored sign in post-production. Anyway, Mono Blue. It's the opening hand of Evolving Wilds. Radiant Fountain. Island. I love that art. I wish that was full art. I mean, look at that. That blue ice. That's beautiful.
That is pretty impressive.
1 Negate. 1 Welkin Turn. Caw! 1 Divination and a Griptide. Well, you know what? I say keep it.
I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah. Well, this proves that Mono Blue Flyers is always a deck in Standard Pop. I didn't think it would work in this format.
Me either, but going in 5-0, that's pretty strong.
Like,
and not only that, but he beat both of the Boros Heroic decks.
Uh-huh.
And he beat a deck specifically called a Black-Green Anti-Air.
what?
Yeah,
Like,
he beat the deck designed to take it down. So.
Like, if you get an early Heroic guy against this guy with God's Willing up, what does he do?
You wait till you
just
don't...
die to it.
Well, wait till you don't have God's Willing up, and then Griptide it?
Sounds difficult.
Hey, and then out of the sideboard, I guess you bring in Voyage's Ends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're not main deck.
Over the Griptides, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'll talk about what I plan on doing with this deck after we go over the next few cards, but let's take a quick look at the curve, or stair step. That's not a curve, folks. That's let It's like a chart I would see at my office.
Well, the 7s should be 1s, right?
The 7s? Oh,
the
yeah.
Bigger than 7s are really
right.
mana.
Because they are treasure cruise.
Yes.
So they kind of disperse throughout there. Mostly 1s, sometimes a little more.
And he is playing 23 lands, and he has 4 cruises. So the cruises mitigate flood, and they help out with finding the lands you need.
Exactly, and you have a little bit of life gain in those Radiant Fountains, too.
Yep.
So don't keep dinking you away. Let's take a look at the next 6. Off the top is Vaporkin, Coral Barrier, personal favorite of mine. Rise of Eagles, always good to see. However, you still only have 3 mana. Treasure Cruise, that's helpful. Another Vaporkin, and another Divination. You got a ton of draw. Yeah. I think you're doing pretty good at this point.
I'm sure he will win some games with the Rise of Eagles stuck in his hand.
Oh, I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah,
but
just off the back of the Vaporkins, yeah, more than likely.
And if they deal with the 3 flyers he has here, he will treasure cruise into more lands.
Yep. It is all entirely possible. I like it. I think it's great. However, once Fate Reforged hits this weekend, here's what I'm going to do. Change it up a little bit. This is just the basic idea. Creatures stay the same. Lands stay the same. Spells, I'm going to add in right into being. That card, I think, is just so super good. It can help you with your draws. It just throws a creature on board for a spell. It's pretty good. 3 Divination, down from 4. 3 Griptide, down from 4. 3 Nullify, down from 4. And 3 Rise of Eagles, down from 4, bringing in the 4 Voyage's End, keeping the 4 Treasure Cruise. Sideboard, moving the negates and 1 rise to the sideboard. Negates came in. The Voyage's End replaced the negates and the Rise of Eagle. So what do you guys think of this post-Fate Reforged?
I mean, I definitely like the changes. I think the big reason to run the negates main deck would have been the Izzet tokens, and it's not really being played a whole bunch anymore. So playing the Voyage's End main deck is pretty good. What about Whisk Away?
Whisk Away?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is good.
And some combination with because the Griptide, I like it, don't get me wrong, but it is 4 mana.
Yeah, I think I would rather have Whisk Away in the Griptide spot, personally. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a good point.
What's
So
up with the cancels? What do you really want to cancel?
There just wasn't even... I don't think the sideboard was fully fleshed out, considering it only had, I think, 14 cards in it. So I think cancels probably just thrown in.
What are the Weave Fates in there for?
The Weave Fates, more draw for draw spells?
More reach against the control decks, probably.
Oh, yeah, so they can do it at instant, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm not in love with the sideboard.
Yeah, I mean, there's options that you can put in here. Like, when are you really going to sideboard in the cancels?
I'm not, ever.
Yeah, so... But I mean...
It seems like it could go into, like, a really control-ish mode. But against what?
Yeah, what deck is it going to be good against?
There's no mill. There's no... Yeah.
I would like the 4th Nullify somewhere over the cancel, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just get rid of at least one of the cancels, if not both.
But surely there are creatures that will just stop this dead. That you want to nullify.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you know you're playing
the snake. What's his name? The big old green monstrous snake.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
Anything with reach.
Anything with reach, yes.
Anything named Gary.
Gary. the other nullify target.
Yeah, the big one.
But you have the disdainful strokes for Gary as well, so it has to be something true. Costing less than 4.
Yeah, I mean, but being able to go full shields up against Gary is never a bad thing.
So, as Dan has shown us.
As Dan has shown us multiple times.
Yeah, I still think he's the most broken creature in the format.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, if there was a flicker effect with Gary, would be ridiculous.
It would be Flickergate all over again.
Yes, it would. I'm filling Dan's head with evil thoughts. All right, well, that's kind of what I'm doing. I just think right into being is too strong not to put into a shell like this.
I haven't got to play it yet, so I'm really definitely looking to try and get out online.
Yeah, I know you've been occupied, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I was able to play this last night. It took forever to get a match, but that's fine.
What did you play against?
It was similar to your Gary cruise, but not as good.
Okay, then you should have crushed it, right?
Oh, yeah, I beat it. It was just mostly flying through the air. A lot of Farika's cures on my flyers, but then it really didn't matter at some point because then I would just either grip tide or get rid of whatever was blocking the way. I don't know. And a bunch of stuff runs into Coral Barrier and just bounces off. I mean, there's not a lot of things that are bigger than there's not a lot of 3 tough, there's not a lot of 3 power, there's not a lot of 4 power, but there's a heck of a lot of 2 power.
Yep.
So
my question would be is how effective Coral Barrier is really against the red, white, and red heroic decks. I mean, he won against 2 different really good players playing red, white, heroic.
But you get 2 blockers.
Yeah, so you can put up roadblocks.
Yeah.
With his original build, discerning in the 4 Grip Tides main and the 4 Voyages End in the sideboard, it makes me feel like it may have been a little more susceptible to aggro. Again, though, I mean, he went 2-0 against one and 2-1 against the other one, so obviously...
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. I mean, the Radiant Fountains obviously have helped out quite a bit, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think with God's Willing and that other card, what's the name?
Feet of Resistance.
Feet of Resistance,
yeah. It should be really, really hard to get through.
It feels like it would be one of the more challenging matchups. Not like the grindy mid-range late game type of deck, but that really like, oh look, it's turn 3 and he's dealt me 13 points of damage already sort of deck. So
yes.
Would be a really tough matchup. But
then you finally cast your Grip Tide for 4 and you get it God's Willing
and then you cry.
Yeah.
You just weep beneath your computer desk. Yeah.
But if you have enough lands, then you just go...
negate.
Negate, yes.
Negate.
There's the 4 negates.
Yeah. So maybe that's the reason for the main deck negate.
That makes sense. God's Willing's a pain in the butt.
It is.
But that's a load of mana. To defend Grip Tide, you need 6 mana.
It is. We'll just cast Explore, and we can't do that.
And then play 16 lands like that one did.
Yeah.
I have to try this. I think it's.
This is.
I think it's work.
I know. I think it's great. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Dan has been playing some Standard Pauper.
Yeah, of course I've been playing Gary's Cruise because I love cruising for Gary's. But I decided that now that I'm a host here, I should probably play something else as well. So I decided to try out Red White Heroic, and it wasn't fun. It's not my kind of deck, but from the Pauper Gauntlet settings, I think I can sort of... I'm at least decent at picking up a deck and playing it, but I played against Jorge Jaco, and he was playing Red White Heroic. So, and my build was very white, and he was more balanced, and he just crushed me. So then I was like, oh, aggro sucks. So I picked up the blue-white control deck, All My Body Wanna Dance.
Yeah.
All My Body Wanna Dance.
Yeah, and I crushed the Garry's Cruise deck.
Oh, that's right. You did. You're playing against your... it's like the... what's that Star Trek episode where they all get mustaches? Like through a mirror darkly or whatever.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's what it was. Dan was playing the blue-white super law enforcement deck versus the evil Gary deck. It's his opposite.
It felt like 1994 playing the first blue-white deck. So blue-white control, always a thing.
Hey, archetypes. They're for real.
I'm having a hard time playing decks without 4 treasure cruises in them. But all my Body Wanna Dance has them.
Well, it meets your one criteria.
I had thought that red-white heroic deck you played was a little bit strange in that it was leaning towards white a whole bunch. Those decks are really strong based around how strong the red cards are, so I think that went a lot to the crushing defeat that you suffered. But it is still, it's an aggro deck. You can get bad draws and just get blown out, so...
Yeah, online, I played... This past week, I played 6 games of Standard in the... I guess it's just in the Just for Fun room. But I played with the mono red, Monastery Swift Spear, heroic 1 and 2 drop deck.
Yep.
Right.
And I won every single game. Like handedly.
Awesome.
I went 2-1 once. Again, this is in the Just for Fun room, but still, I just casually got on and I was able to knock out 6 games in not even an hour. They all went that fast. That deck is crazy.
You should record at least one of them.
Yeah, I know. It's just whenever I'm doing them, I'm always doing other stuff too, not devoting time. But yeah, that deck is for real. I don't know why people aren't playing it. I actually played against the Mirror and won because what did he do? Oh yeah, he bestowed the Mogus Warhound onto his guy and just ran it right into me, which was fine because I was able just to strike back for lethal. But had he been able to block, if he had just been able to block, he probably could have won out. But
did you see any Siege Rhinos?
Siege Rhinos? Oh yeah.
Okay.
I saw that was the one I went 2-1 on, but so many people are waiting till turns 3 and 4 to do anything. And then they're not blocking with their coursers, and they're not blocking with their Sylvan Caryatids because they're afraid, and they should be. But by the time they're doing anything, they're already 10 points down. So, what are you gonna? I'll just burn you out at that point.
I actually tried Standard as well for the first time since Console Tarkir.
Oh yeah, you're a red-green.
I haven't watched it yet. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No, go ahead. I'll watch it anyway.
This is the magical time of year when us finance guys happen to have Standard decks. Because in December you pick up the current block, so now we have all the Console Tarkir stuff. And in March, April, we have to sell off all the Theros stuff. So this is a window that happens every year when you can actually play Standard just because you deal in cards. So and then I saw this red-green monsters deck and I figured, red-green monsters, that's my thing.
There you go.
So I resolved the Stormbreath Dragon for the first time.
It's awesome. My favorite was when you were looking at Xenagos, you're like, hey, I could cast Xenagos. I don't know why I would. I was like, you just put him in there because you had him. It's like, oh, hey, here's Xenagos.
Yeah, I checked the list and I figured that, okay, I missed the train on Rabble Master and Mana Confluence. I couldn't put them in. But Xenagos I had plenty of, so...
That's cool.
Xenagos the god or Xenagos the planeswalker?
The Reveler. The planeswalker.
Oh, okay. Because he is in 2 different cards in Standard.
That is true.
Yeah, so I get confused by them. Yeah.
But the gold is not
Planeswalker is
around,
way better than the god, so...
Yeah. All right. Real quick, again, if you're doing the F&M thing, let me know. I'll be talking about it, doing some pictures and stuff. Make it happen, folks. Make some live Standard Pauper happen. You know the arguments for it. I'll help you in any way I can. Let your local game store know, and we can work together on this. It'll be awesome. Do it. Now, let's talk about Sam. Sam mentioned earlier that he has not had a lot of Magic Online time, but he has been working on something equally as cool, his own physical Silver Black Cube. You want to tell us about it, Sam?
Whoa. Yeah, sure. It's a 720 to start out, so 720 cards, and I just wanted to... I figured if I was going to go and do it, I was going to go big on it. So it is kind of split evenly between the colors, 87 of each color, 160 gold, split 12 cards for each guild, 5 cards for each shard, and all of the wedge cards at common and uncommon, so 3 for each con, right. 60 artifacts and 65 lands. Perfect 720, so that worked out pretty well.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like it. I'm 420 cards in. I'm picking up a lot of the rest of them on Friday.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. So I'll be done pretty much here within the next couple of weeks with getting the cards, and then sleeving it's going to be a whole different thing.
Trust me, it takes forever, and it costs about as much as you paid for the deck.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm
like
looking... I'll need 1,000 sleeves.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What got me is I hate to have mismatched lands, so I went and bought enough lands for anyone who plays my cube to go ahead and use pre-sleeved lands.
Yeah, no, I'm going to sleeve between 50 and 60 lands and just have them ready. So, I mean, that's why I need 1,000 sleeves. So I can have my whole entire cube sleeved and all the lands for it. Because I'm going to, as I said, I want to do it right. I want to get it all set up. So
we need to have Amazon.com wish lists. And anyone who wants to support us in our ridiculous habits.
The crazy part is there's no good way that I can find to buy 1,000 good sleeves.
I bought a box of Pro Shields. I know people are going to poo-poo on Pro Shields. I don't care. I bought like an actual box of the packs, like the box you see at Walmart or whatever. Like I went on eBay and bought a box.
I think that's what I'm going to end up doing.
Yeah, it has 10.
Buy a box.
Yep, it had 10. I think I got 1,000 because it had 10 packs of 100.
See, that's exactly what I need.
Yep.
I just want like basic black back. I don't want anything fancy. I want a few extra. Red. That's too snazzy for me. We don't like that type of stuff. Plus, black is slimming. It's going to be a big.
I see. You want it to have a good self-image.
I do. I want it to feel good about itself. It's important.
Well, here's some highlights from the deck.
So, Lingering Souls, white and red have a shared token sub-theme.
Cool.
White has some Metalcraft, some Weenie strategy. It, of course, has one of the best removal spells of the game, Path to Exile. So white has some heroic junk in it, because the heroic creatures, I mean, even though they run rampant in Standard Pauper, they are still incredibly push creatures. So you can't build this. The idea behind the cube, just overarching, is it's like a limited All-Stars cube. Has lots of cards that you would...
Nice.
Like lots of B+, A- in it. Going back all the way through Modern. I mean, Lingering Souls still sees plays in Modern. Path to Exile, of course, even though I don't like it in Modern, because giving your opponent that extra land, I mean, I just hate that.
Did you see Binkaby's video on the top 10 white Modern cards?
No, I haven't actually seen it yet.
Okay, Path to Exile was number 1.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people go, well, yeah, but you're removing their creature. But in Modern, giving them that extra land is such a, like, I feel like it's a huge detriment that you're giving yourself by ramping them forward an extra land, that I don't like to play it. I'd rather play a card like Doomblade where there's no drawback or something like that. So, but in Cube, it's not as bad. So,
playing Tron in Modern, then you really fear Path to Exile.
Well, you are running a couple of forests, right?
Yeah, but still it's the worst that can happen to a Wormcoil engine or to Ulamog.
Yeah. Ulamog.
Yeah, I mean, somebody patched something of yours in one of your games recently, and you're like, okay, yeah, thank you for the forest. That's going to help me out.
I do play 2 forests just because of that.
Yeah,
Mostly it's plays 1 forest.
All right, let's look at again. You put in some
Delver.
evil cards.
Delver.
How good is he in Cube? Can't be very good, can he?
In my Cube, he's pretty good because all of the colors have, just individually, all of the colors have between 12 and like 25 instants.
Okay.
So actually, I have a kind of a Delver Fiend deck in there that somebody could draft. With Nivik Cyclopses, Ponders, Preordains. I kind of abolished the ban list when I built this because I want with Cube it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
So actually, as an aside, I was watching some people play on MTGO earlier on, and I saw a guy playing a Simic Delver Madness deck that I might put together. So if I do, I'll send it to you guys. He won handily in a couple games, so it looked really interesting. Playing like Circular Logics and Wild Mongrels and stuff, so it was pretty cool.
That doesn't sound like Modern.
No, it was Pauper.
Okay.
Yeah, he was playing this random Simic Madness Pauper deck with Delvers and Wild Mongrels, and so it's pretty interesting. I don't think I've seen that particular setup. Because normally when you see Madness, you're looking at Root Wallas and stuff, but he dropped a Delver and flipped it, played a Wild Mongrel, protected it with the Circular Logic, and won. It was pretty cool. So, yeah. So Delver, of course, an excellent creature. All of the colors are maxed out. Like I'm playing all of the reasonable enter the battlefield effects across all of the colors. So there is a Flicker sub theme. Ghostly Flicker, not Journey to Nowhere, but the Flashback Flicker card and Cloud Shift and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a flavor for blue and white. So
that's cool. And then you have the kind and friendly cards.
Looks like a Flicker target.
Exactly.
Shriekmaw.
Black has removal. It has a recursion sub-theme. It has a small suicidal creature sub-theme. And discard, basically. You know what black is good at.
Right.
So basically all of its instants are removal, but when I stopped and I thought about it, that's only 16 removal spells in black for the entire cube, so that seemed like it wasn't all that horrible. So, so black, a lot of enter the battlefield effects because it's one of the better colors for that, like Shriekmaw and Skin Thinner. The art on Shriekmaw is spectacular, by the way. It's like a little Zulu monster breathing fire. So,
it's awesome. Looks like somebody's tattoo, like their dream tattoo.
I want this card on my back. Lower back.
Lower back.
No.
I want it to be a target.
Oh.
What?
Okay. No, sir.
A target for ridicule. What did you think I was talking about?
One thing that I have found out is buying paper cards, the economy is completely different.
Oh my gosh, yes, isn't it?
I got an Inquisition of Kazalok, and I was like, oh, this guy's going to be, like, online. It's going to be, like, $1.25. It was $6.
Oh, my gosh.
It's insane. I hate buying paper cards. If I didn't want this cube so bad, I would just be like, no. But Everything is just like tipsy turvy, and I don't understand it anymore. So
yeah, I started trading cards because I wanted to have, because what I've always wanted to have. I have several Pauper decks. I have a standard deck right now. But things I did not have. I had no modern and no significant legacy deck. And the local store here has both modern and legacy, tournaments that go on. Just store tournaments, yeah.
Right.
So I've been trading my cards like crazy, and I'm almost done with my modern Infect deck. Thanks to Drinkard, he's been educating me on Infect, which is very cool of him. And the Legacy Burn deck, I'm about monetarily halfway through it. Card-wise, I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. So,
are you going mono green with the Infect?
Yes, mono green.
Oh, that's a nightmare for Tron.
I think Infect is going to be able to come back in Modern because of the banning. So I think that's going to be a role player.
I got speaking of financially, I got my Ink Moth Nexuses, or Nexi. I don't know how you pluralize that.
Nexuses.
Nexuses?
Yeah.
Ink Moths. I got 4 of them for 2 of my Flooded Strands.
Oh.
Two Flooded Strands. I traded them for 4 Ink Moths. That's one of the best deals I've made. Because
that seems pretty good, especially since they just got a reprint.
Yeah. And then Ink Moth's been going
Nexus is fairly... it's probably in MMA too this summer.
Oh, yeah.
I think it might be.
What has surprised me for Modern Masters, it doesn't seem like it dropped paper cards pricing down at all. It did.
Yeah, but this one will have a much larger print run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they learned that it's going to sell good from the first one.
Yeah, some of the Modern Masters cards are more expensive than their original printing counterparts in paper.
It's really strange. Again, thankfully, most of the Magic I play is on MTGO, where everything makes perfect sense to me. Where I can get a Chain Lightning for like 75 cents. And I
have to dig up my Chain Lightnings. They are somewhere in my paper cards. I remember paper cards from the last millennium.
Right. Yeah, I got 4 Chain Lightnings. They were like $12 each.
Yeah, they're insanely expensive in paper. Insane in paper. And that, like, I could get all of my white cards, really, that I have in my queue for the cost of, like, 4 Chain Lightnings. I mean, it's just insane. And that's part of the reason I decided not to go in the Pauper queue, because there's some Pauper cards that I would want that are really high priced because they're just like old cards, limited print run. So
I know. Oh, check this out. I bought to replace Chain Lightning in my Pauper cube because I didn't want to put a $15 card in a Pauper cube. I instead got Forked Bolt.
Yeah,
to replace it.
And you picked it out with the awesome proxy on top of it.
Oh, right. I did. Uh-huh. But that Forked Bolt that I bought for 25 cents is now $5.
Yeah,
wow.
They're insanely expensive too. So
Forked Bolt.
Well, this got a reprint, and it's all like people are playing it and stuff. So it's just insane. Paper cards are crazy.
They are crazy. All right, well let's move on. You got your what? Lightning Bolt.
Lightning. Okay, that's why I picked these two. Red is hasty creatures. It has a cannot block theme, and of course it has the king of all 1 mana 3 spells, Lightning Bolt, because we forget that Ancestral Recall exists. It's better than Healing Solve. Come on.
Oh, Healing Solve. That's such a waste of a card.
I can't even remember what... Oh, the black one, Dark Ritual. That
Ritual
was good, even though nobody plays it anymore.
And green is Giant Growth.
Green is Giant Growth.
Still
but remember that
card.
Lightning Bolt is barely playable in Classic Pauper. Most decks.
It just doesn't do enough. I mean,
That's crazy.
It's so sad that like one of the more iconic spells of all time is unplayable in Pauper. But
That's weird.
but it just isn't. I mean, it just doesn't do enough. But
it has had a revival because of Treasure Cruise. As Firebolt got worse.
Oh, right, because you have to.
You don't want to ever flash it back. You want to get it. You want to remove it for your cruises. So,
Yes.
All right.
I like how the metagame switches around. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Green.
Here's the. Yep.
Green was the hardest color to design for, and that was because the creatures are just so weak. When you look at Green has good, strong creatures in Modern, but they're all pushed to rare and mythic. So the pickings for uncommon and common were really slim. So I went with the ramp theme. I went with good, reliable creatures like Strangleroot Geist, and then I think I did like a small anti-flying package. It was really hard to come up with good green stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in it for green, like black to reanimate, that type of stuff. So I don't think your internet connection is affecting the call.
It seems to want to think that.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, but you can hear. You got. I'm kidding.
Okay. I was like, do that. Maybe it is.
Nope, it's fine. Oh, this was the fun slide to make.
Gold. So,
yeah.
You might notice Bloodbraid Elf, because I'm not going to build one of these things and not include one of the better creatures in Modern ever printed. Kitchen Finks, again, kind of has that same thing going. Murderous Redcap. So all really strong creatures with interesting enter the battlefield effects. Electrolyze is just a really... I've just been in love with it ever since it was first printed. It's what I wanted the red-blue card from Fate Reforged to be, even though it has two more. But yeah, gold is heavily represented. It has as many cards as two of the colors do. So
it's pretty cool.
I'm not sure this format will go anywhere. Sliver black. You can only play the black slivers.
Oh no! Thanks, Dan. Thanks for pointing out my terrible, terrible error.
Sorry.
That would be a horrible format.
It's only black slivers.
The
worst color
worst.
of slivers.
Sliver black cube. Only one of its black sliver.
It's an 8. It's an 8
Dan, you're kicked off the show. You don't point out my mistakes ever.
Sorry.
That would be such an easy cube to build. It would be like 8 cards.
Right.
It would be undraftable.
Couldn't do anything. So now I have to fix 2 things in post-production.
Censored.
All right, folks, when you see this video on Thursday...
remember that we're all incredibly drunk. And then remember, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning where Dan's at, so his day's off to a good start.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Now we're at artifacts.
Skull Clamp!
Yes.
Skull Clamp, again. It's a cube. I want the clamp. I want it to power artifact token strategies. Green strategies. I mean, it's good in every strategy. Come on. If you play creatures, you can play Skull Clamp.
Is it the best card in the cube?
I mean, the cube has cards like Bloodbraid Elf, Maul Drifter, Skull Clamp. I mean, Path to Exile is Inquisition of Kozilek. I mean, it has high-powered uncommons and commons in it.
Right.
Yeah. I'm picking Skull Clamp.
Skull Clamp is
card.
I mean, who's not first picking a card like Skull Clamp if they get the opportunity and then building around it? Somebody who doesn't want to win, I guess.
Right. 1 mana, draw 2 cards. Yes, please.
But you, the opportunity to get to play with that again, because I haven't played with it since it got the hammer back in the day when they... Skull Clamp, all of the artifact lands, Archbrown Ravager, banned when it was still all standard legal, so the chance to get to play it again. I got the cooler new art one, though, so I like it a little bit better. Okay. Bone Splitter's awesome. and the Scepter, one of the few like non-interactive cards in it in the entire queue, but it's a pet card of mine. I love it. And it has plenty of stuff to fuel it. The only thing I don't have, I'm not going to pay $12 for remands, so it doesn't. There will never be a remand on it.
Also, very likely reprint in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. If that, oh wait.
Oh,
no.
they already reprinted it in the Jason Vraska, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
There will be more remands.
I mean, I hope there's more remands out there and it drops in price because it's $12.
Yeah.
In paper, it's not that much cheaper online.
It's going to be 25 cents at most online in September.
That would be awesome. Because
I have mine in a trade deal going on right now, so I'm trading off my
get rid of them quickly.
One remand.
Awesome.
Yep. And lands.
Okay.
Oh, good old Boiler Works.
On the lands, I have a dilemma because I'm running 65 lands.
Yeah.
I'm literally running every multicolor land in Modern. Besides there's a set of storage lands from one set, and then the really junky Kamigawa dual lands that if you tap them for colored mana, they don't untap the next turn.
Slow lands.
Yeah, those things are horrible.
Yes.
But I'm even running like the 9th edition Invasion tap duels and the Cold Snap tap duels.
Wow.
I want the fixing, but like all of the fixing comes into play tapped. So
yeah, it's one of my most hated things in Magic. Lands that come into play tapped.
And I mean, I know. I mean, dual or multicolor sets have a tendency to be slower anyway. Why do they need to slow it down even more? Why does Wizard need to slow it down even more with these into play tapped lands? I just don't get that. So, but they know their game, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I'm so skeptical about 3 colors in Standard Pauper. And even 2-color aggro, because the cost of having a land coming into play tapped is bigger than people think.
Well, I mean, if you noticed, to go back to that, the mono blue deck, it played Evolving Wilds more probably to fuel Treasure Cruises for free. Mm-hmm. It didn't play, I bet those red-white decks, they're not playing tap lands. They're probably just playing Evolving Wilds. I mean...
Yeah, but he didn't have any 1-drops as well, so he might consider Evolving Wilds as 1-drop.
Yeah, and I mean, that makes perfect sense. But, I think the aggro decks probably don't want them, and then those decks are probably just going to push out 3-color. I guess we'll see how, if I get around to it, I'll probably build a version of Gary's Cruise that splashes green in after Fate Reforged comes out, so see how that does.
Yeah, Roberto said that he was building a 3-color Gary's Cruise deck after Fate Reforged.
Yeah, I've played him. I think I've played him a couple times playing a deck like that, so and of course he's one of the innovators of the format, so but yeah, cool. That was lands, so that kind of takes us through a leisurely cruise. I told Brennan we should review all 720 cards, and he's like, send me a few. So it was a compromise.
Yeah.
Yes. So that brings us back around to the Pauper Gauntlet.
Round 12.
12?
We had a 50% chance of ending the Gauntlet here. So if both decks won, or if both decks lost, the Gauntlet would continue, but if one deck won and the other one lost, it would be over. So I played Power T here, and he had gone crazy. He had built a red-black mid-range flashback deck. That seemed like, nuts. That will never work.
But,
and I crushed him in the first duel, but then... things got out of hand.
I'm afraid so. I was watching this and I was like, oh no, Dan. He just dominated that last game, though. I mean,
yes, Gary is very broken.
Gosh, no kidding. Once you have the oubliettes and the
witches.
Kumbaya witches, each Gary is striking for 6, then 8.
Yeah,
it's 14, man. There's nothing you can do about that.
The witches are really bad for Stompy. I don't care. I don't mind oubliette that much, but the witches are pain.
Yeah. Ugh. It's crazy, but yeah.
And of course, all the 2/2 girdles like Phyrexian Rager and Shitting Rats, they can block. So they are good 2-for-1s against Stompy.
Yep, they do get in the way, gum up the works, as it were.
Yeah, so this once again proves Stompy's vulnerability to rogue decks.
Yeah. So now we have Burn versus Affinity.
The great crapshoot. I've been playing this matchup from both angles through the gauntlet, and I think Burn is slightly favored, but if the early 4/4 lands, it's pretty difficult.
Right, and I want to say you got pretty stuck on lands on this one too.
Yes.
Not only
And
that,
someone
but
asked me why I play so many lands in Burn, and of course this wasn't my list at all, but I'm very inclined never to go below 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall Pauper mana bases are way too greedy, but if you get stuck on 2 lands in Burn, it's often really bad.
I mean, it shuts down your ability to play Fire Blast, and
Yes.
your slow start shut down your ability to play the Flame Rifts. So like, I'm just gonna go in and kill myself. So yeah, things didn't go right for you here.
And you goldfish so slowly if you can't cast 2 burn spells every turn, and with just too many you often can't.
And I remember I pulled up YouTube because I was at lunch at work, and I pulled up YouTube and I was like, oh look, it's only like 11 minutes long. Most definitely Dan won this one. The gauntlet's over. And I started the video and I was like, oh no, what's going on? So like, yeah, things just went horribly wrong this entire match.
JPH Snake was so excited for a day there because when Stompy lost, and he's the champion of Burn.
Right.
So I haven't really heard from Dan of Bears. Is he still around? He's the champion of Stompy.
I haven't seen Dan on in a while, but I mean, I could always give him a holler.
Yeah, I wonder if he knows how close he is to winning the gauntlet.
Yeah, I'll shoot him an email. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Yes, I think this time it is much less likely that the gauntlet doesn't end, because now we go into the tournament rounds. So round 13 will be the 2-mans. Round 14 will be the 8-mans. I'm going to play both of these rounds this week. So only if both decks get the same record. Of course, the 2-man rounds is just like this round, so it has a 50% chance of ending the gauntlet. But then the 8-mans, if one deck gets 1 win and the other gets none, the gauntlet is over. So they have to get the same record for the gauntlet to continue. So maybe if I lose all 4, the gauntlet still goes on. And then I have a problem, because then I have to play the dailies in round 15.
Dun, dun, dun.
And
the
we're
dailies
talking
are
about
all night.
round 15. Round 15 will take all of February.
Yes, probably it will.
Oh my goodness.
I did test staying up all Saturday night this weekend, because there was the biggest UFC ever in Europe, in Sweden.
Oh wow.
I almost went, and it went on American time, so it was between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. Swedish time. But we stayed up and watched it, and every Swedish guy lost. And the big Swedish Alexander Gustafsson, who was fighting for a title shot, he was the favorite by far odds-wise, and he got knocked out in the first round.
Wow.
And he was weeping on the floor and sort of
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
I'm still suffering from staying up that late.
Oh no.
So I'm not looking forward to the dailies.
Yikes.
Well, I hope things wrap up then in the next 2 rounds. No, I'm kidding. I hope they go on until March.
Right. For us, the content
The
viewers.
dailies round, which are then maybe 5% likely, then we'll just play rounds like this round forever until it ends.
Oh, bye. All right, well, if that's gotta happen, that's what's gonna happen.
Yes, but I think next week we'll talk about which deck won the Pauper Gauntlet.
Dun dun dun. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Hey, whenever you do find out, hit me up. We'll try to get someone on with us to mix it up a bit. Maybe the champion or the brewer or something.
Yeah, having Jack on would be awesome.
Oh.
Or Deno Bears.
Yeah. I would.
So the champion should be on.
Yep, that'd be cool. We'll reach out to him.
Yeah,
Maybe next week there'll be a special guest.
And I can reach out to Dan, Mr. Bears.
Mr.
Yeah, because
Bears.
last year I did an interview with the champion, but it was just me, so it would be much more fun to have him on the show.
Awesome.
Then we could hear about their take on Standard Pauper as well, so...
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Deno Bears
right.
has played a lot of Standard Pauper, hasn't he?
I don't play Standard Pauper. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on the Standard Pauper Show.
Yeah. Why did you come on then?
You asked me to. I'm
like-
confused.
Where's my oversized winnings check?
Winning.
Right.
Yeah, I think the prize is pretty sweet this year. It's a lot bigger than last year.
Oh yeah.
I forgot there was a prize. I'm not falling for the prize. I'm falling for the glory.
For the glory and for the battle.
For the fact that it started in August and it is just a few days away from February, and that's
I
pretty
know,
amazing.
it's nuts. Well, guys, that kind of brings us to the inevitable end of our show.
No, not the end.
I'm sorry.
Forever.
I do too, Dan. We all do. Everyone out there in Magic Internet land, they all wish this beautiful dream could just last. We'd never wake up and be happy forever. But unfortunately, this is the end time. Time where we have to say goodbye, and we wish that everybody would visit magicgatheringstrat.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's right. Also, we're now on iTunes. Go out there and subscribe in the old iTunes land. It'll be great. Twitter @MagicGathStrat. Or you can tweet me @CeruleanSaysHi. Hello. Sam is SPO7677. Facebook /Magic Gathering Strat. Come on. Like us. These fake internet thumbs ups fill us with happiness. You want us to be happy, don't you? We have lots of other content on the show, on the channel, rather, and you'll probably find something that you like. We got
I'll make an extra argument for subscribing. Today we are at 2,333 subscribers.
Wow.
And if we can hit 5,000, we'll be upgraded in our YouTube relations. So YouTube is paying us some attention because we are, in their books, a Swedish gaming channel. And they love Swedish gaming channels. But if we hit 5,000 subscribers, they will open up their London offices to us. So I really like to hit 5,000 subscribers. So any subscription is much appreciated.
Yeah, tell your friends, just hit, not that I'm trying to game the system, but seriously, any friend with YouTube, just have them click on subscribe. Come on, we make funny jokes and have good stuff on there. There's got to be something they like.
Or when you are at your friend's house, disable his YouTube notifications, emails, and then subscribe to Magic Gathering Strat.
Right. Okay, speaking of, and I should do a thing on this, when you subscribe, a little gear box shows up next to the subscribe. If you click on that gear box, you can uncheck receive notifications, like right there, right at the subscribe button.
We get a lot of unsubscriptions because people think we make too many magic videos, and I think those emails are the reason for that.
Yeah.
So if you don't
They're
want
not
to get spam
our
by YouTube,
emails. You can turn them off.
We'd rather not be sending those out. Trust us.
Exactly. But anyway, thank you all for watching. And this is Brennan.
This is Sam. Woo.
this is Dan.
For the Standard Pauper Show.
Standard Pauper Show.
It's like angels in my ears.